From New York City, a gunman captured right there on surveillance images. This gunman appearing, Giovanna, to hold what appears to be maybe an assault rifle. It is believed that this individual has now committed suicide inside of a building along Park Avenue, in between Park Avenue and Lexington, a facility that actually houses some of the country's top financial firms and the NFL. We do believe there are additionally two more victims, potentially a police officer that was injured in this shooting.
Yes, and you're looking right now at live pictures from the ground. Again, this is happening in Manhattan in New York City, and we will continue to follow the developments and bring you any new information as it comes into our newsroom.
It all breaking within the past hour or so, but again, that image of the suspect now being released. Pretty frightening.
Good morning, Owasso. This is Chad with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. Yep, there was a shooting in New York, in Midtown, yesterday evening at around, they said around 7. Now, I have to double check, see if that was 7 a.m. or p.m. But yeah, a lot of craziness going on in New York right now. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up the article and we're going to just get straight into it. So let's transition my screen real quick and we're good to go. So, 4 killed, including an off-duty officer in Midtown office shooting. Suspect gunman dead by suicide. The shooting occurred at 345 Park Avenue in Midtown just before 6:30 p.m., so it was in the evening. Manhattan, New York, WABC. A 27-year-old man wearing body armor, carrying an M4 rifle, shot and killed 4 people, including an off-duty police officer in Midtown Manhattan office building Monday evening before killing himself, officials say. The fifth victim was critically injured, and in the shooting, officials said in a statement, the NFL commissioner Roger Goodell said that the victim is one of the employees and was listed in critical but stable condition. The shooting occurred just before 6:30 p.m. in the office building of 345 Park Avenue at East 52nd Street, which contains the headquarters of foreign investment company Blackstone and the NFL Football League, sources told ABC News. Now, from what we've been told is that he is a former athlete, and he was doing a revenge killing at the NFL headquarters. The suspect, identified as Shane Tamura, carried a note in his pocket claiming that he suffered from CTE, asked that his brain be studied, and made reference to in the NFL, police sources told ABC News. Police said that he had documented a mental health history and played high school football. The 3-page note described the sources as rambling, contained references to the NFL sources described as vague. After barricading himself on the 33rd floor, Tamura, a Las Vegas resident, was found dead with what is believed to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds, according to the New York Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch. During the news conference Monday evening, Tisch said the preliminary information suggests that the suspect traveled across country with a BMW from Las Vegas before arriving in New York City. Tamura had a license to conceal and carry in the state of Nevada. We believe this to be a lone shooter, Tisch said. Police say that Tamura engaged in a double-parked BMW Monday evening with an M4 rifle. Security cameras show Tamura holding a long gun and walking outside the office building. He entered the lobby of the Midtown Tower alone and immediately opened fire on an NPD officer and sprayed the lobby with bullets. He made his way to the elevator, where he shot the security guard, Tisch said, then made his way up to the 33rd floor, where he shot another person before shooting himself in the chest, she added. Detectives actively are trying to determine why the suspect went up to the 33rd floor, whether he specifically was headed there or if he simply wound up on that level. Rudin Management, the real estate company, is located on that floor. Officers researched the suspect's vehicle after the shooting, where they found the rifle, casing rounds, loaded revolver, ammunition, magazines, a backpack, and medicine described to Mr. Tamura. He had a documented history of mental health problems. The motivation is currently under investigation. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino said earlier. In total, 4 people were shot dead, plus the shooter in what Mayor Eric Adams called a violent and despicable act. The deceased, including the NYPD officer Dirulum Islam, is the 47th precinct, came to the U.S. from Bangladesh, and who Adams said that he had been on the force for almost 4 years. He was working security in the building while off duty. Earlier tonight, I met with the officer's family and told them that he was a hero, and we admired him for putting his life on the line, Adams said. Islam was married with 2 young boys, and wife was pregnant with a 3rd child. The officer and the survived male civilian were taken into New York Presbyterian, where the civilians is in critical but stable condition. The two other civilians, one male, one female, both killed in the shooting, were taken to Bellevue Hospital. Police and another female was taken. The victim found dead on the 33rd floor. The witnesses inside the Midtown office building at the time of the shooting detailed to ABC News is what the scene looked like as colleagues hid in the lockdown, unsure of what was unfolding in the building. The only thing between me and the door was a flipped chair, Jessica Chin said. Initial moments before the lockdown, I texted my parents. I love them, she continued. Nothing can describe that feeling, Chin said. Chin went on to say that she recalled doing active shooter drills in school, and she would often wonder what she would do in this kind of scenario, which is unfortunate that all Americans have to go through, Chin said. Oh, you would find this person. The New York Governor Kathy Hochul said she had been briefed on the situation. KPMG, an accounting firm, also had offices in the building, released a statement after the shooting saying, "Our hearts go out to the victims of this horrific act and their families. We are incredibly grateful for their bravery, building security, and law enforcement," the company said. Across the country, several squad cars from the Las Vegas Metro PD have been convened at the entrance of the gated neighborhood where the purported suspect in the Midtown shooting was believed to be living at home. Detectives will be working through the night and days ahead together to profile the man responsible for this. Investigators are working to see where the gunman had bought the high-powered rifle and used in the rampage. Detectives now scrolling through thousands of surveillance cameras to pinpoint the gunman's motives minute by minute. So, a lot going on there. So, that's what happened last night. So, we'll see what happens. But from what's been going on the Twitterverse and on social media was, one, that he wore not a hijab, but whatever the little scarf that the Palestinian protesters wear, and that someone there who was arrested was yelling "Free Palestine." So a lot of conjecture going on about whether or not this was a pro-Palestine protest movement. Some lady was there that was being interviewed, said that he was screaming "Free Palestine," but that's all conjecture because that's just witnesses literally just right off the street. Now, it's possible that is what was going on. We don't know, but considering that he left a note saying that he wanted his brain scanned because of CTE, which is, where you get hit in the head so much, just basically like what the movie Concussion was about, the one with Will Smith. So we'll see. It sounds like it was targeted towards the NFL to me. But again, they said there's witnesses coming out and all sorts of stuff being sent out on social media saying that some lady was arrested that was there with him and she was shouting "Free Palestine." So God knows really what's going on. But this is the facts that we have right now. So then we'll see what happens with all this, with what's going on in New York. We're probably going to see like a huge demand for the gun debate issue, but again, this guy doesn't fit the mold of what the left wants in a mass shooter situation, because the victim or the perpetrator is African American, and he killed a Middle Eastern police officer, killed a woman. So it's not exactly fitting the profile of how the liberals would go after, saying this is what we need to go after guns. If it was white guy going after minorities or shooting up a school, it's a different situation. But this seems to be a very targeted and specific situation where this guy was going specifically after the NFL headquarters, and he was just shooting people that were getting in his way. Hence the unfortunate officer that was off duty that was just working a security gig there. So hearts and prayers go out to those families and anybody that had lost anybody, and the speedy recovery to the person that hopefully survives. But that's what happened in New York the other day, and it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But that kind of moves on to our next segment here of also kind of what's going on in the news, something that was being ignored. This completely got ignored the other day. I think this happened over the weekend. But Cincinnati police chief says 100 people watching and recording violent attack. Only one called 911. Police chief expresses disgust that only one person called 911 while dozens recorded the brutal attack on their phones. I'm not going to show it because it is extremely violent, and YouTube does block and censor anything that's violent that you see. You can't even show blood on YouTube anymore, even if it's from like a movie or whatever. Like the only thing that can get away with those censors nowadays, I think, are like video games. But even then, I see some video games getting people playing video game throughs that get censored like that now. Okay, authorities have charged at least 5 suspects in a violent attack that took place in downtown Cincinnati, according to police. Fox 19 reported that the beating took place on Friday night between Elm and 4th Streets, with video going viral on social media. Video circulating around the social media shows 2 people attacking a man wearing a white T-shirt who is eventually shoved to the ground. While the man in the white T-shirt was kicked several times, he was on the ground but eventually gets up. The woman was also seen lying unconscious in the streets after being punched. Several people can be seen helping her get up, and eventually she regains consciousness. Ohio Republican governor candidate Vivek Ramaswamy spoke with Holly, the woman who was knocked to the ground on Monday. She's a single working mom who went to a friend's birthday party. It is unconscionable that there were no police present in the area of Cincinnati on Friday night, or even an ambulance to take her to the hospital, he said. Hardworking Americans shouldn't have to worry for their safety when they have a good time in our cities. Holly said not a single local or state official had reached out as far as early this afternoon, other than one police detective. Leftists are like to lecture about systematic injustices, while thugs turn our cities into war zones. I'm done with their excuses, he continued. I'll make sure that they're behind bars and not running wild. Our cops will have a green light to restore order, no apologies. Holly appreciated the kind words and prayers from the patriots across the country and hopes that the public publicity around her story will ensure that local and state leaders can clean up our failing cities. We hope to visit Holly soon after she recovers. Yeah, she was knocked out by just a group of thugs that were just, attacking people. Now, maybe there'll be more to the story. Said they've already claiming that that the people there were saying racial slurs, but there is no evidence of that on video. So we'll see what happens as the investigation continues. Cincinnati Chief of Police Teresa, oh my goodness, look at this name, Thagi, it said during a press conference on Monday afternoon that her department had charged 5 people for the involvement in the violence, though she would not release the names of these individuals. Police sources told Fox News earlier on Monday that at least 4 suspects have been identified. Police are still trying to identify at least 8 more, the sources said. It is unclear what led to the beating. The 2 individuals were seriously injured, police sources said. Taji said that her team will use all investigative tools and techniques to find out what happened in the violent incident, including whether or not the people were served alcohol. But the chief also expressed a disgust that nobody called the police as the violence was happening. Added that when officers arrived at the scene, it was already over. She explained that there were 100 or so people that were either involved or watching, with even some people recording on their cell phones. Yeah, that's the society we live in now, is World Star. Pull out your phone, film it. World Star, World Star. Like, that's the society that we're breeding. Not people who go in to help and intervene, but just grab their phone and say, not my problem, but I'm going to go viral for filming this. That's what it is. That's the society that we're breeding right now. That is the influencer generation that we've been cultivating right now. And it is sickening. Out of those 100 people, only one called the police. This is unacceptable not to call the police, she said. Traffic was horrendous. People saw this. They were fighting in front of traffic. Why didn't anyone call us? The White House spokesperson Harrison Fields told Fox News Digital engaging on this level of barbaric violence is unacceptable, and those responsible must face the full weight of the justice system. Restoring safety to the American communities is the cornerstone of the president's Make America Safe Again agenda. As we result from what we've seen from these criminal levels pummeled under the presidential leadership, which has secured the border, empowered our law enforcement, and taken dangerous criminals off our streets. Fields added. Thagi, or whatever her name is, previously told Fox News Digital that she was appalled by the violence. The behavior displayed is nothing short of cruel and absolutely unacceptable, she said in a statement in our investigation. This is working diligently to identify every individual involved in causing this harm. It's important to clarify that this sudden dispute between individuals following a verbal altercation. The statement posted to ex-Democratic Cincinnati Mayor Raft Pervol said that he was outraged by the vicious violence. It's horrifying to watch. This is unacceptable behavior and disgusting and intolerant on part of our community. That is not who we are as a city, Pervol said. Based on the investigation and the urgent work of our police, I am confident that the arrests are forthcoming. For the reason we are making every effort to allow our officers to do their job and present formal requests to public rather than engaging with early speculation. Let me be clear, Cincinnati is an inclusive city where we all can come together and enjoy major events in our urban core, he added. Vice President J.D. Vance has also weighed in on the attacks. While he doesn't have the context, he saw the mob of lawlessness thugs beating up an innocent person. It's disgusting. I hope that every single one of those people who engaged in the violence is prosecuted to the full extent of the law, Vance said. You've got a grown man who sucker punched a middle-aged woman, and where I come from at least, when you have a grown man sucker punch a middle-aged woman, that person ought to go to jail for a very long time. And frankly, he is lucky that there weren't some better people around because they would have handled it themselves, which that's true. What happened? Where are the good men that would have stopped that right there, would have beat that guy to a pulp? But, this is the issue that we're having. It's a culture that allows this type of criminality to happen. So we'll get more into that here in a bit. But the DOJ Assistant Attorney General, Civil Rights, Harmit Dillon, posted on X that the agency would monitor closely how the local authorities handle the attack. Man, this is a long article. Nobody in our great nation should be the victim of such a crime, and where race is a motivational federal law applied by Dillon. Added. Cincinnati Vice Mayor Jan Michelle Carney said police will find anyone involved in the attack and they will be held accountable, according to WLWT. I mean, it's just crazy. It's disgusting. It was horrible to see, Carney said. We talk to our teens about not fighting and how to get along, how to de-escalate, and then you have adults out there showing bad behavior. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine also issued a statement calling for the footage to make the rounds. Shocking. The footage this weekend in the incident in Cincinnati is shocking, he said. I support the local authorities in bringing the violent offenders to justice and taking measures to make sure our cities are safe for all to live, work, and enjoy. So, that's what happened. It has not made any national news. The only reason that this has got as much attention as it has now is because of social media and independent journalists. This getting out there. That's the only reason this story has gone viral, because the mainstream media has not picked it up. It has not been gone around at all in the major circles. And two, they say that the big story behind all this is if the races were reversed, this would be all over the news, which unfortunately, is true, and it would be considered a hate crime. So that's where we're at as in a society right now, and that's where I'm kind of turn it over to the memes, and we'll bring up this first one that I have here of this guy talking about it and talking about how he's disgusted with it.
This has got to be one of the most disturbing things I have seen in a very long time. If you're not familiar with what happened over the weekend, in downtown Cincinnati, there was a group of 10 black people who jumped 2 white men. Now, we don't know exactly how this fight started. I'm sure we'll get some details in the next coming days. But you can see this white guy all the way in the background with his hand on the ground, with his knee on the ground. That was one guy that got attacked. This guy right here that's on the ground, he's the second guy that got attacked. And yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a black man flying in the air about to stomp on this guy's head. There was even a white woman who was running to help her friend off the ground, was attacked by a black man and punched, knocked out unconscious. There was about 5 to 6 black people stomping on this guy's head when he's bleeding from his mouth, not moving. 5 to 6 black people stomping on this guy's head. The black community is the most violent, destructive community we have in America. But where is CNN? Where is MSNBC on this? Because if roles were reversed and there was 10 white people jumping 2 black people, it would be all over the news. These black people should be charged with hate crimes. This has got to be one of the most disturbing things I have seen in a very...
He's not wrong. Said when the situation is reversed, it's a hate crime every time. But when it's like this, and it's clearly like a gang, even if they're not a group of people, it is a gang event where there's just a bunch of people that jump in and start beating them. I mean, why? What for? What's going on here? If you don't know what's going on in the situation, why are you instigating or taking part in? The only way people know what you should be doing is breaking the fight up. Why is it that that this culture here is just like, quick, join in, start beating him too, versus, hey, separate these 2 people? And that's the issue that we're having right now. Which brings me to the next portion of this that I'm going to talk about here. No, I did not mean to do that. I'm going to have to go back and find that one. But we'll start with this right here.
You're gonna love the view. It's wet down there.
Oh, is this your guys' first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like keep going down straight. The waterfall is gonna be on the left. You're gonna love it. Watch your step. This is so green. The color.
It's worth it.
Joke here that white people are extremely polite, courteous, and helpful to each other. Okay? Guilty as charged. Got us.
Yep. Not wrong. Not wrong. Like, it's how polite we are and how we're being nice to people. Whereas, what's the next one that we have here? So it's stereotyping people. Why are there truth to stereotypes is the question that we're asking ourselves to this.
Entering the Hall of Stereotypes. These wax figures represent how some intolerant people have labeled minorities.
Oh, God.
Here we see a black person eating chicken and watermelon, a stereotype that hurts the African American community.
Okay.
What other stereotypes do you see here?
Here's the Arab as a terrorist.
That's right, but of course we know that not all Arabs are terrorists, don't we, kids?
Well, there's an Asian man with a calculator.
That's right. Not all stereotypes are negative, but even a positive one like all Asians are good at math is harmful to society.
Look, a covetous Jew.
Very good, young man. The idea
my
that Jews are
God.
only interested in money is very old indeed.
Here's a good one. It's the stereotypical sleepy Mexican.
What? Oh, man, what time is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a wax sculpture.
No, man, I'm the janitor. I'm supposed to be cleaning, but I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy.
That was not funny. That wasn't funny. That was a terrible joke from South Park.
Entering the Hall of Stereotypes.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Stereotypes exist for a reason. Now, it's unfortunate that, they exist for that reason, but there is a truth to certain stereotypes. So, we'll move on to the next couple of, funny memes that I have here.
Trump, I got a question. You on your debate the other day, you said illegal immigrants are taking black jobs. What the f*** are black jobs?
The illegal immigrants are being extremely loud on buses. They are all types of stuff that we said this used to be blacks. Remember when this was blacks and we liked it when they were black because they could dance and they were fun. And now the people that are Mexican are not fun.
Trump, I got a question.
That is Shane Gillis right there, and man, he is so funny. Here's another one that he had when we went on a podcast with some guys.
You have live, laugh, love cursive in your apartment?
Nah, man, my apartment's black as shit. I got it. just so if my family comes, I'm like, no, she's a good one. Like that's
Yeah.
So
what do you have in your apartment that makes it black as shit?
I can't think of the name of the
Other people's stuff? You have live, laugh, love cursive in your apartment?
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Oh, man alive. But yeah, it's like, it's getting back to the stereotypes. Like, if you want to have stereotypes said about your race or culture, wouldn't you prefer it to be something that's good, like that first thing that we saw where it's like, oh, look how polite you are. Look how nice you are. Look how, caring you are. It's like, you need to change your culture. It's not something that can be done overnight, and it's not something that another, as we've seen throughout history, it's not something that another race can do for you without being accused of colonialism or slavery or whatever. But this is the issue, is like, we need the culture to change, because when a fight breaks out like that, you should just be seeing people breaking up the fight, not pulling out their phones and recording it and being like, or joining in on it and just start beating some random person. Now, again, maybe things will come out later and we'll find out that maybe those people were being racist or whatever. But we don't know. As of right now, we don't know, and the investigation continues. But even then, it's like that's the left's modus operandi is, hey, words are violence. Whereas you're supposed to be taught as a kid that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. I mean, this is kindergarten level stuff that we're having to deal with now. Whereas, oh, I was disrespected, so therefore I'm going to, that is equivalent to violence, so I'm going to beat you or attack you because of that. That's where we're at as a society. And, like, I have the video here of the entire, like, beating, but, of course, I can't show it because violence is violence, and you can't really show that stuff on YouTube. So I can just, like, show, like, stills from it. But, I mean, you can go find it yourself. It's all over the internet right now, any social media platform. There's the poor lady knocked out. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It's crazy. But that's pretty much all I've got for today. I'm going to play us out with a Patrice O'Neal comedy segment about, stereotypes that is absolutely hilarious. Patrice O'Neal is one of the funniest comedians of our generation, and it's sad that he's already passed away so early. But this has been Chad with Owasso Live. This was The Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that is really all I've got for you today, everybody. I will catch you all in the next one. So God bless you, and I'll see you later, everybody.
I'm watching you. White guys are good for that shit. Y'all are good for that guilty shit. That's your punishment. For racism, guilt. White guys are so afraid to be a racist. I'm telling you. You see a few black guys walking towards you in an area you don't belong in, run. But you can't run. See black guys coming out. I don't want to assume that these young men are going to beat me in my face. I don't want anybody accusing me of racism. So they got to wait to get beat up first before they can even think about running. My advice, run, get home, feel guilty, but be alive. Alive and guilty is a good thing. Because if I see 5 bald white dudes walking towards me, I ain't going to wonder if they got cancer. I'm gonna go. Those look like skinheads. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I'm not gonna come back. Even if they pretend they got cancer. Oh, dude, oh. No, don't run, dude. We got cancer. We was all coming from chemotherapy classes over here, and they just thought we were strong enough to get, and I'm not running. I'm not, no. Because that could be the old cancer hang a nigga trick. I go back, hey, you guys all right? Get him! Oh. I fell for the cancer hang a nigga trick. How the fuck did I?